Welcome to a Market Action Index review of the 85704 zip code. I am Adriana Vildosola with Coldwell Banker Realty. I'd like to give a special thanks to Lisa Erickson for sending us these reports. I like to see these reports because I love the visual with these graphs and all of this right here versus going directly to the MLS and starting to pull my own comparables because it's just a list view of comparables. But anyways, I will be reviewing 85704. What area does that cover in Tucson is, as you can see right here, my little map selected. All I have is 85704. So it covers a small, slight portion of the Catalina foothills, but it also covers west of Oracle Road and above the River Road. Almost hits Oro Valley, but not quite. It might have portions of Oro Valley. I'm not quite sure. But, anyways, as you can see, as of today, there are 20 active listings. So when I like to review these reports, I like to see, a side-by-side comparison. This was probably generated with January statistics. We are now on the 4th of February. Time flies, right? Who would have expected that we would be on the 4th of this year? I mean, I'm still in 2020. So with that said, don't mind all of my open tabs. But let's talk about the market action index. What does this mean? This graph right here means that we are still in a very strong seller's market. If you're looking in the 85704 area and you want to live right there because that's the area that you love and because your work is close by and because that's where you like to shop, so on and so forth, or maybe there's a specific subdivision or development that you really, really want to stick to, but you're also postponing your search or you're postponing placing offers, or you're just not, trying hard enough to get into a house because you think that the market's going to crash tomorrow and that you're going to have the cash to be able to purchase, so on and so forth. Let me say to you, as of right now, we are still in a very strong seller's market. It is going to take a while for prices of property to go down. I mean, something very, very, very drastic would have to happen for people to start losing property, or for you to start being able to purchase foreclosures, or what people think is what's going to happen. I like to use the example of 2008 market crash. I know that in some states it happened sooner than 2008, but that's the year that I felt it. That's the year where I got laid off of my drafting position. And that's the year that I started noticing construction going downhill, prices going downhill. But when the market crashed back in 2008, we did not see a price reflection until 2011 and 2012. Of course, prices started going down slowly, but we didn't get, half of the home prices until 2011, 2012. So it takes a while. And back then, the banks kind of screwed themselves over. They shot themselves in the foot because they were giving loans that were up to 125% of the property. They were using flex rate mortgages. They were also not as strict in pre-qualifying people. Appraisals were not as strict as they are being today. So there was a lot of little things that made all of that happen. And then you guys have to understand that not only is this a strong seller's market, if the market were to crash and sellers started deciding to sell, there's still a lot of competition buyer wise right now. There's still a lot of people, there's a lot of investors that are still forking out a lot of cash, so you still have that sort of competition. On another thing is, even if um, homeowners started losing their home, you got to remember that there is a 90-day foreclosure reinstatement. So what does that mean? That means that if you're in pre-foreclosure, or if you're going through foreclosure, you have 3 months to bring your mortgage back to current. Okay. That buys people enough time to actually sell their house, number one, or number two, that gets them enough time to start working on a short sale type of sale, right? Where they would only be responsible for the remaining balance so on and so forth. And right now with a lot of iBuyers, there's a lot of options for sellers to just dump their house if that's the thing that they wanted to do. So if you are a buyer looking to purchase an 85704 or in Tucson or anywhere in Arizona or anywhere in the United States, as a matter of fact, and you're thinking, oh, the market's going to crash, and you actually qualify for a house right now, think about this. If the market crashes, you could possibly lose your job. If you are financing this with a loan and you are in a W 2, you're not self employed. Even self employed people could be affected by the market crashing. So, being in a house right now would give you a little bit of leverage because you could rent rooms. I see a lot of people renting rooms. I follow a lot of Facebook groups like Chandler, Living Gilbert, and whatnot. So think about that. If you actually own your house, your rent won't be hiked up. Number one, because we're seeing that in Tucson a lot, and we're seeing that overall in Phoenix. If rents are going up, you will be susceptible to that. You can be susceptible to evictions. Evictions don't necessarily give you a 90-day grace period. I mean, unless you're going through a court and all of that other stuff and have a lawyer. It's still, which is still an expense. But anyways, I really went off subject. We were going to discuss 85704. I just like to educate people on what it looks like to purchase in this market. And if you're a seller, it's a great time to sell. I mean, I know that realtors say this all the time, but it is a great time to sell if you actually purchased this house back in 2011, 2012. You probably have a lot of equity in it. You can probably move up to a larger house, or if you're trying to downsize, this may be the time to downsize. Um, so, with that said, again, looking at this graph, we do have a very strong seller's market. This week, the median price for 85704 is 519,850. The median price of the new active listings is 479,900. And again, median price removes anything that's really, really expensive and anything that's really, really cheap. The average price per square foot is 243. The average days on the market is 60. Why is it 60 when people say that everything flies off of the market? Is because of the price point. A lot of people don't have enough income to qualify for 519,850, or even if they did qualify for that, they do not want to spend that amount of money unless this is like where they want to stay specifically. So the median days on the market is 39 days. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get a bunch of offers on your house on day 1, day 2, day 3, but you might be staying on the market for a little bit longer. So if you're trying to sell your house, have that expectation that it could possibly last 39 to 60 days, especially if you want top value for the property. If you're not being realistic about the price and you're thinking, okay, this is a really strong seller's market, I can get $100,000 more for my property, you might stay on the property longer. It may not be feasible. As you can see, there is a price decrease of 56%. And some prices, and none increased 0%. We had right here 18 days, so this report was probably generated 2 days ago. The median rent in this specific zip code is 2,470. Okay, again, still very strong market, strong sellers market. And as you can see, here's the market segments by breakdown. Each segment below represents approximately 25% of the market ordered by price. Okay, so all of these prices are there. As you can see, even homes that are in the millions are selling pretty fast in Tucson. Back in 2016, $1 million homes would last 90 days on the market. They would last a lot longer than what they're lasting today, is because a lot of people with cash are ready to move out of California, out of Florida, out of Texas. We got a lot of people coming from out of state that would love to be probably in Phoenix, and they end up in Tucson, which is, in my opinion, a lot nicer, better commute, so on and so forth. But anyways, That is the report that I've got to you for 85704 today. I hope that this was informative. Please like, share, and or comment, and give me a call if you're looking to sell your property in the 85704 area.